Welcome back for another video. In this video we'll run through how the team's set to line up for Gameweek 24 and the transfer plans this week. 2 free transfers, so at least one's going to be spent, probably 2. Starting with a quick look back at how last Gameweek went then. 70 points all out, a great week turned slightly red arrow after Foden and De Bruyne's points in the final game. The midfield and attack doing a lot of the heavy lifting again. 1 point from Dubravka, Estupinian, Trent and Pedro Porro. But Richarlison with 15 points, his first brace since April 2022. Saka with 9 points, Palmer with 8, Haaland an assist, and the Watkins 18 pointer. Well played if you went Watkins captain, huge return. It was a very swingy game week, and likewise don't beat yourself up if you got captaincy wrong. Watkins blanked in the reverse fixture against Sheffield United, Solanke got a hat-trick in the reverse fixture against Forest. Foden's hat-trick was an absolute rank killer. A decision to make on buying him this week or wait till Gameweek 25. Gordon's potential injury might have forced the decision, and I'm looking to spend 2 transfers this week. Let's get into the Gameweek 24 team. Ederson comes back off the bench for a home fixture to Everton. He needs to deliver a couple of clean sheets over his next 3 games across Gameweek 24 and 25 to feel like a good pick. So far just 1 clean sheet from him in 3 starts, but stretching further back he's got 1 clean sheet in his last 12, which is very poor. Glad to have him though, as the defenders do look tricky for City. If Walker starts against Everton, he looks like the best of the bunch, but I wouldn't be entirely surprised if he misses a game. Man City topped the Gameweek 24 clean sheet odds, given a 51% chance. In defence, it's Saliba, Trent and Pedro Porro. In the reverse fixture, West Ham defeated Arsenal 2-0, and Arteta will be keen to make amends in the title race. This season, Arsenal are top for clean sheets, goals conceded, big chances conceded, and XG conceded. Jorginho's introduction to the 11 versus Liverpool had a massive impact. He helped control the game and restrict chances conceded. You'd imagine he gets another start after such a good performance, which will help Saliba's chances of a clean sheet. Trent's got the best fixture of the week up against Burnley home, who've got 2 clean sheets all season. He's created 51 chances this season, which only Trippier can beat. Liverpool are second on the clean sheet odds as well, with a 47% chance. Slight concern that he's still recovering from injury after 57 minutes last match and a sub appearance the week before. Pedro Porro faces Brighton in what should be an open game. The question is who Pedro Porro is up against, Lamptey or Estupinian. Fortunately don't need to start Estupinian this week, but really need him back in the 11 with blank Gameweek 26 looming. Gut feeling is that after the bad performance against Luton, followed by a benching, he'll be back in the team. Pedro Porro has taken 37 shots this season, 8 more than any player. Spurs are second worst for expected goals conceded over the last 6 game weeks, which is really poor though. The absolute dream is an attacking return and a clean sheet with these attacking defenders, but it does feel pretty unlikely with him at the moment. In midfield it's Palmer, Richarlison, Saka and Gordon. Palmer's up against Palace, who have conceded 20 big chances over the last 6 game weeks, second worst in the league over that run, and no clean sheets over that run. Palmer's the first Chelsea player aged 21 or under to hit double digit for goals in the Premier League season with 10 goals so far. Unbelievable given that we've got so much of the season remaining. Richarlison's brace last match puts him on 9 goals in his last 8 appearances. He's in the form of his life at the moment. In case you missed it, Jordan knocked South Korea out of the Asian Cup, so Son is headed back to Spurs as well, perhaps even available for Gameweek 24. Son should come in for Werner down the left and Richarlison keeps his spot through the middle, but perhaps a sub off the bench if it's a bit too soon this week. Richarlison's a tricky one. He's got the blank in 26, but he does play in 29. I am weighing up selling him in Gameweek 25 for Jota, but it would be another player that blanks in 26 and likely not playing in 29, more on that later. Gordon completes the midfield. So the latest on his injury is reportedly it's not serious, but it's unclear when he'll be fit. Not the end of the world if he misses this game with 2 free transfers, just needed to be fit for Gameweek 26 when most of us are going to be scraping the barrel to get 11 out. Barnes returned from injury last game week, scoring off the bench against Luton. Given how pivotal Gordon's been, I imagine Barnes is more likely to impact Almiron's minutes than Gordon when fit. The front 3 is Solanke, Watkins and Haaland. As mad as it sounds, Watkins is a potential transfer out this week after his haul last week. Man United not the easiest fixture, and there is an opportunity to bring in Darwin, he's got Burnley. It is risky given Watkins' high ownership, with over half the game owning him. It would be a short-term play with a view to bringing Watkins back in Gameweek 26. We'll discuss more on the transfer plans segment shortly. As a reminder, Aston Villa and Chelsea's FA Cup match will have a huge bearing on Gameweek 29. West Ham play Aston Villa in Gameweek 29, so if Villa beat Chelsea, they just need to beat Leeds in the next round and they'll blank in Gameweek 29 along with West Ham. Arsenal played Chelsea in Gameweek 29, so likewise if Chelsea beat Villa and then Leeds in the next round, then those fixtures become a blank. So in a nutshell, either West Ham and Villa or Arsenal and Chelsea will blank in Gameweek 29. Unless of course Leeds beat them in the next round. Solanke's away to Fulham this week. He's been given a 32% chance of scoring any time against Fulham. Fulham have got 1 clean sheet in the last 6 games, and their 9.97 expected goals conceded ranks 12th among all teams. He's also got a couple of poor fixtures after this game week, though I do have the option to bench him against Newcastle. I'm hoping the Luton postponement drops into Gameweek 28, which has been rumoured, as I'd be a move ahead of the non-owners by holding him. He'd have a double game week of Sheffield United home and Luton home. Haaland gets the armband. Top of the goal scorer odds this week, given a 60% chance of scoring any time. I'm kind of hoping the 5-pointer puts some people off captaining him, because in my eyes he's easily the best captain this week. Dyche has played Guardiola 17 times, which is more than any manager. His record over that run is 6 goals scored and 52 goals conceded, at a rate of just over 3 goals conceded per game on average. He's never beaten him, 1 draw and 16 losses. Fortunately, City do have the early kickoff as well, so we might get an idea of the starting 11 and confirmation that he starts, which I'm fully expecting. The bench this week is Dubravka, Bowen, Estupiñán and Pinnock. Reflecting back on last week, it was a mistake to start Dubravka over Ederson. It was a decision that I should have put more thought into, and that's an easy mistake to make sometimes. Newcastle are worst for expected goals conceded over the last 6 game weeks. Fortunately, Ederson conceded as well, so it was only a point drop, but it could have been more. It was only 1 point, but if you get 20 of these macro decisions right over the season, that can be a huge amount of points, as the swings can be much more than 1 point. Same goes for captaincy of course, but we invest a lot more thought into that. The team's in great shape at the moment, 2 free transfers, 0.1 million in the bank. Picking a bench with good depth in recent weeks is going to prove useful in Gameweek 26 as well. As it stands, I've got Trent, Pedro Porro, Palmer, Richarlison a blank in Gameweek 26, so 4 blankers. I'm looking to add a 5th, which would be Watkins to Darwin. On paper, I do expect Darwin to do better over the next 2, Watkins with Man United and Fulham, and Darwin with Burnley, Brentford and Luton. Liverpool have lost 4 times this season in all competitions, and all 4 of those were when Darwin didn't start. He is a chaotic player, he can be frustrating at times, but the fixtures are undeniable. Given the Gordon injury, I'm looking to spend a second free transfer on Bowen to Foden. It's funny how the fine margins are in FPL sometimes, there's a lot of variance. Looking a few game weeks back, when Son left for the Asian Cup, Bowen was brought in early for some incredible fixtures before his price rise. He ended up getting injured in the FA Cup, fortunately did play in the end next game week, but Foden would have been picked instead for around 22 more points gained. No one expected Foden to score a hat-trick of course, or Bowen to blank in some very good fixtures. So looking to Gameweek 25, I would have the flexibility to roll the transfer with 5 players at double. Depending on price changes, I might have the option to do Richarlison to Jota if Salah's still out, but that looks like it'd be a -4 hit booked in for Gameweek 26, whereas the plan with 2 free transfers would be something like Trent to Gabriel and Darwin to Watkins. Though the FA Cup results could dictate those moves, would ideally like to avoid free hitting in Gameweek 29 if possible. Let me know how you got on and what your transfer plans are. Hit subscribe if you enjoyed the video, there's more to come before the deadline. See you soon for the next one.